We're ranting today. Hey everybody, I'm Katie. Welcome to the Book Buddies, and today's video is a rant about this awful book. So if you like this book, leave right now, because you're just gonna get mad at me. So, you know. And if you do get mad at me, well, that's your fault. Okay. And number two that I'm gonna say is that I'm trying not to put spoilers. Okay, so this will try to be a spoiler-free thing. Okay? Trying. If you do get spoiled a little bit on something, I'm sorry. But I'm trying my best. And number three, before the rant starts, I do want to say that I'm glad that I have the book. I am glad that I have the book. But I still don't like it. I'm glad that I own it. So thanks, Kayleen. Because it's another book to add to the collection of books and books that I said that I have attempted to read. But still, so now we go on to the rant. Okay, number one problem. Your main character, Nick Dunn, is a douchebag, and I felt nothing for him. The whole time you're supposed to, I think it's supposed to be like you feel bad for the guy, because even though he's a bad guy, he's going through a lot. Well, no, I didn't feel bad for him. He is an awful human being, and I think he kind of deserves to go to jail. He hadn't actually done anything, but I would be perfectly happy with him going to jail. Yep. Number two, your main character, Amy, is a word that I'm not going to say, that I couldn't stand. I hated her so much. I hated both of them so much, but she was really annoying. Because one, she was that kind of lady that's like, I'm perfect, and everything would be fine if my husband would just be as perfect as I am. Like, what? Shut up. Just shut up. I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. You're just annoying. Like, stop talking. Go away. Never come back. Thanks. Thanks. Great. Thanks. That's how I felt throughout the whole thing. I was like, I hope she doesn't come back. I kind of hope she's dead. Like, throughout the whole thing, that's like kind of what I was going for. Like, my back's itchy, sorry. I did not like her or him at all. The side character, Nick's twin sister, she was pretty good. I liked her, okay. She wasn't nearly as irritating as Amy, and she wasn't nearly as awful of a human being as Nick. So, you know, there's that. Okay. And number three about bad things about this book is that the writing style is really not that good. Like, people were talking about how great the writing is. It's really not. It's kind of confusing. Not really all that well done. Like, I mean, I just didn't like the writing at all, really. It was just not my cup of tea. I did not like this book. Okay, and now on to other stuff. Okay, so I didn't finish this book. I got about halfway, and it wasn't getting any better. And I was forcing myself to read it, and I was like, usually when I force myself to read something, it doesn't get any better. And sure enough, I found out that it doesn't. Because I put on GOODREADS that I finished it, and about 30 minutes later, a lady I know told me, or asked me how I felt about it. I told her that the story had potential, because it does have potential, it was just really badly done. But I didn't like it because the characters were bad, there was too much swearing, and it just wasn't going anywhere. There was like nothing happening. There was nothing happening. And she told me, I'm glad you didn't finish it because it doesn't get any better. And she was like, I was so mad at the end of the book that I wanted to throw it at something. Okay? So, before this, I was not planning on spoiling myself because I was like, well, I still want to know what happens, so I may watch the movie or something. But then she said all that, and I was like, well, if that's true, then I don't want to bother having to watch the movie either. So I'm just going to spoil it for myself. And I went and I read the ending, and I was like, why? Why would anybody torture themselves to read this book? Why does anybody want to read this book? That is not a good twist at the end. That is an awful, messed up, sociopathic, psychopathic That is an awful ending. Like, that is a messed up, horrendous ending that isn't very good. Like, it's just a bad ending. Like, for both of them. Like, and it's not just the, like, what happened, like, the big thing that makes everybody mad. It's the fact that it's just a bad ending. It's a bad ending to a badly done, written, a bad story, badly done, badly written book. I can't talk right now. It's just bad, okay? Sometimes the end can justify the book, like, make you think, oh, okay, now it makes sense why the book was like that. But no, not with this one. With this one, it was like, why did you torture me to read this whole thing just to get to that? Gillian Flynn, I don't like you. Not personally. I don't know you personally. But I don't like you for doing that to me. Because although I didn't read all of it, I was going to. I was very adamant about trying to finish all the books that I start. But this one was the first one that I've ever just refused to finish. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I'm so over it. I want nothing to do with that book anymore. I gave it 0 stars because 1, I didn't finish it, so I can't really give it any stars. But 2, it's not worth any stars in my opinion. Maybe 1 iota of a star. And 2, I recommend it to nobody unless you're really into awful endings, just really twisted, messed up endings that aren't good in any sense of the form of that word, or even enjoyable. Just don't read it, okay? If you haven't read it, don't. Just don't. It's bad. It's just bad, okay? And especially if you were under the age of 16, don't read it. Ever. Just don't. Anyway, I'm going to finish this video right now. And I may do a video later this week after Kayleen's or whenever. I will probably do it after Kayleen's and make it more of a lighthearted one so that it compensates for the negativity of this video. Maybe. That might happen. I don't know. Depends. I don't really have a schedule, but sometimes stuff pops up. So, anyway, I'm ending this video. Never read. Anyway, I'm ending this video. Have a good week. And never, ever, ever read Gone Girl. Bye.